All right, you ready to keep this party going?
I am.
You know what I really hate about the Notes app on iPhones? Is that sometimes you'll be in a location and you'll accidentally rest your thumb onto the screen. And it'll be like, oh, did you want to go to a very different part of this note? Hold on, we'll go light speed.
Yeah, and you can't even tell which direction we went.
It sends you anywhere and you're just like, bruh, like I was scrolling in this note and it's not a super long note.
No.
For like 10 minutes trying to find the spot that I just lost because iPhone was like, I'm on it.
Did you mean this sentence?
Yeah. And
How about this one?
I said, no, I didn't mean that sentence. Okay, this next one comes to us from Crack. I moved to South America when I was 16. I once was looking around a bookstore, and in the tiny English language section, I found a book about old houses in New York State. I opened it to a random page, and there was a picture of my house. The one I grew up in, and that my mom still lives in. Weird.
That is a pretty strange story.
That's a major coincidence. Like, that feels like that person made that happen.
Like they went to another country and they were rich enough to find a book about their neighborhood in New York. I don't know how, it's a weird story all the way around to go so far away and actually open a book to a page and find your house.
Yeah, the first page you open up to.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my house.
And then, we call it a coincidence, but sometimes things like that don't seem coincidental.
They really do be like that.
Yeah.
This one kind of blew my mind a little bit because this is very... okay, I'm gonna lead you down it because it's a fun one. It's from Kleinbull 00. A friend of a friend once was getting rid of a bunch of equipment racks. His company, Crane LDEC, formerly LDEC, needed the space. So I grabbed 3. Nobody knew what any of them were from. One of them had a marvelous set of switches and lights and a marvelous aerospace-grade wiring loom on massive multi-pin connectors.
Impressive.
Very impressive. The front panel simply said, Bomb Bay Door Test Apparatus Rockwell B1B.
You know what that is, right?
I sure do.
Well, for people that didn't grow up where we grew up with these things flying around, it's a B-1 bomber.
Yes.
Sets off car alarms in the neighborhood
It sure
by
does.
Flying overhead. It's loud.
They were pretty loud.
Yeah.
LDEC was, of course, an aerospace manufacturer. Seeing as I run across aerospace chunkies all the time, does that mean junkies probably?
Probably junkies.
Yeah, but autocorrect was just like fat shaming.
Yeah.
Some chunkies, you know the ones.
Oh, we cannot put drug words up there. We'll be canceled.
You know those aerospace chunkies.
Yeah.
Yeah, put down the chips, asshole. No, it's fine. Chunkies all the time. No great shakes, except my best buddy down in LA was making a space movie, and I knew the wiring harness would look great on an ersatz Soviet space station, so I shipped it to him. My buddy lived in a loft at the time. They shared the 4th floor of a building in the fashion district. Sarmak, the fine art photographer who lived next door, was over hanging out and having some red wine. He turned and looked at the table where the wiring harness was sitting, and turned white as a sheet. What's wrong? My buddy asked. That's the wiring harness for a Rockwell B1B ALCM deployment bay test apparatus, he said. Yeah, I think it is. It was assembled for LDEC Corporation in 1981 in Mukilteo, Washington. He said, wow, did you, photograph them or something? No. And silence. Before I decided to be a photographer, I was an aerospace engineer at LDEC in Mukilteo, Washington. Great surprise. It was the last project I worked on, actually. It's one of the things that made me go back to school. He said, so did you build a lot of these? And he said, no. We only needed the one. That one. That's like full body chills, man. That's weird.
That is pretty crazy.
That is crazy. That is like kismet. It's like, holy shit, what are the odds?
Yeah.
I built that thing that's sitting on your table right there.
A photographer in the fashion district.
Ex-Aerospace engineer.
Yeah. And left it because he was basically building the doors for a type of bomber that can deliver nuclear weapons to Russia.
We know another aerospace engineer who has a passion for photography. My dad. Yeah.
I probably know a few more because I grew up around a bunch of aerospace engineers.
That's weird that particular career, maybe they're like, I like the way things look.
Yeah.
I like capturing looks of things.
Yeah, we like to put it in order. We like the sun to shine just a certain way.
That's a crazy story.
Light up the skin as just before this B-1 bomber
Also lights up the skin.
Yeah, lights up the skin for the last time.
Yeah, the last one final hurrah. Yeah.
It's just such it's like one of those stories that's just a little bit beyond coincidence.
Yeah. Like that guy was having just a shit day.
Yeah.
And he was like, ugh. And then he's like longing for his old days. He's like, remember when life was simple and I was nothing more than an aerospace engineer.
Yeah, working for somebody else.
Building very complex things for very complex other things.
But now I'm a photographer.
And life is stress.
Yeah, in LA. Wait, was it LA?
I think so. I believe it was, yeah. Yeah, dude, that's nuts. Nuts story, but great story. God, I hope I one day have a story that is equally like on par with this one. Like they were calling from inside the house. I sounded excited about it, but clearly you wouldn't be.
No.